What's up, guys? This is Unreal Gaming Hardcore, and welcome back again to another Tree of Saber video. And for today, we're gonna do a supposedly popular build, but for some reason, it's not that popular now. So I guess we're just gonna do this for curiosity purposes. And the build we're gonna check out is Warlock, Shadowmancer, and Featherfoot. And as usual, we're gonna test it out on the fields, then do some boss fight, and see whether this build is viable or trash. Well, anyway, with all that said, let's do this. Okay, here's the build. There's the Warlock, the Shadowmancer, and the Featherfoot. And you know, guys, I just wanna say, because I've been wondering why they called it Featherfoot, because obviously the class is a vampire and should have been called a vampire class. Look at all the skills. It's all about blood and blood sucking, and heck, the class can't even fly and use blood bomb all over and recover all the HP from the targets he's attacking. That's vampire written all over. I don't know, guys, I'm just wondering what the heck is a Featherfoot. Anyway, we're gonna do challenge mode with this build and see what this build is all about. And yeah, by the way, we're gonna be using default items that are given away when you play to see some struggle while we're testing it. Because if we use overpowered gears, every class is gonna be good. And that's not a decent way to show the viability of a class build. Okay, here's the challenge mode portal. Let's go! And yeah, if you're thinking why not do it in the corner, because it's too tight there. And I think there might be a problem seeing the character and what it's doing, so I just decided to do it in a place where there's much more space. Plus, this is not a do a challenge mode real fast video. Oh shit, that's a good idea, I might do that in the future. Anyway, let's go find a much more open space. Okay, the first skill combination I'm gonna show you guys is Mastema plus Kundela Slash. So a combination of Mastema, a Warlock skill, plus Kundela Slash, a Featherfoot skill. This is a good combination because Kundela Slash does multiple hits per targets if the target got 2 or more debuffs, and Mastema inflicts 3 debuffs in an instant. So that makes it a good skill to go along with Kundela Slash. And look at that, Mastema, then Slash. It's also good against bosses, which we're gonna do later. And before trying to engage, I should have said this first. Anyway, before trying to engage with enemies, always use Dark Dirge, a Warlock skill, which summons 5 spirits around you, which you can use to attack, but don't do that because those spirits attracts more enemies. There are 4 more enemies that you can gather and defeat. The next skill is Innervation, a Featherfoot skill. What this does is curses enemies and adds additional damage to enemies when it's getting hit. So Innervation works well with everything. With other Featherfoot skills also like Bloodbath and Blood Sucking. Because those skills only works with demon, beast, and insect type mobs. But when you use Innervation, Bloodbath and Blood Sucking works with everything. But I find Innervation works well with Pole of Agony, a Warlock skill, because it does so much hit that you get the most out of Innervation. Here's a preview. I guess we should mention Levitation and Blood Curse. Both are Featherfoot skill and it's very good. There's not that much to say about it other than increase your HP, because more HP means more damage. As you've been noticing, we haven't even talked about Shadowmancer. It's because most Shadowmancer skills are filler skills. They're actually good, but I can't find anything that works well with them aside Innervation, because everything works with Innervation. The only thing that shines with Shadowmancer is Infernal Shadow, which is basically it creates a shadow clone of your enemies. That's good, and it works well with bosses. And speaking of bosses, let's go ahead and test out the single target DPS. This is how I usually deal with bosses. I go ahead and make a shadow clone of the boss, then Mastema, then Kundela Slash. And as you can see, it's really good. And you can also use Innervation, then Pole of Agony, then Bloodbath and Blood Sucking. So this build is not bad against bosses. And of course, not bad also with mobbing. Now that we've seen most of what we need to see, let's make a conclusion out of this. Okay, the Warlock class. It's here mainly because of Mastema and Pole of Agony. Mainly Mastema. That's it. Dark Turge, you can use it to gather up more mobs. Then Invocation is decent against bosses, but it's not instant infliction of damage because you need to wait for the spirits to appear. Then Demon Scratch is kind of iffy. It's hard to use. So the Warlock class is here because it works well with Featherfoot. Now let's go to the Shadowmancer. As I've said, most of the Shadowmancer skills are filler skills. You can argue that Shadow Condensation blinds enemies, therefore works with Warlock and some of its own skill, but Shadow Condensation do a delayed animation plus the blind debuff only lasts 10 seconds. So it's iffy. But I guess it's good for damage. The only skill I like in Shadowmancer is Infernal Shadow, because this basically gives you 2 targets to hit when dealing with bosses, and that's really useful. All in all, Shadowmancer is average, and you can probably change it if you want to focus more on mobbing. Your choice. Okay, the last class is Featherfoot. This is the best class in this build because of its damage output when working with Warlock, and also because you can heal and self-sustain yourself. And that's it, guys. That's another Tree of Saber video. I hope you like this one. So like it if you do, and subscribe if you want to help the channel. And this is Andre of Gaming Hardcore. See you in the next one.
focus.